Specialization in English, Asian literature. First Emperor of China and the Great Wall. The leader who unified China's writing, laws, and defense systems, and under whose dynasty the Great Wall was constructed. Identity. Shi Huangti. Purpose of the Great Wall of China. Nomadic group from the north that the Great Wall was built to repel. Group. Huns. China's Golden Age. Historical period marked by flourishing culture, economy, and innovation in China. Dynasty. Tang Dynasty. Standard Mandarin's basis. City whose dialect forms the foundation of China's national language. Place. Peking. Unifying Chinese literary idiom. Classical written language that connected China's diverse regional dialects. Term. Wenyan. Number of combined Chinese characters for words. Approximate count of distinct words formed by combining Chinese characters. Count. 100,000. Foundational Chinese texts. 5 core works central to Chinese philosophy, history, and literature. Collection. 5 classics. Core Confucian texts. 4 key books that shaped traditional Chinese education and thought. Collection. 4 books. Shortest Chinese poetry form. Brief poetic structure known as the cut short form. Line count. 4 lines. Structured Chinese poetry form. Poetic style with paired lines and regulated tonal contrast. Line count. 8 lines. Chinese free verse poetry. Category of unrhymed, flexible poetry in Chinese literature. Term. Sanku. Origin of Japanese writing. Culture from which Japanese writing systems were adapted. Source. Chinese. Age of Japanese literature. Approximate length of time Japanese literary traditions have existed. Duration. 2,000 years old. Austere Japanese drama. Ceremonial, slow-paced theatrical form with hypnotic elements. Form. Popular Japanese drama. Flashy theatrical style traditionally performed by male actors only. Form. Kabuki. Oldest Japanese book. Earliest surviving text documenting Japan's myths and history. Work. Kojiki. 31-syllable Japanese poetry. Traditional poetic form with a 5-7-5-7-7-syllable structure. Form. Tonka. Masterpiece of Japanese literature. Classic work telling the story of a prince with widespread appeal. Work. Tales of Genji. Japanese linked verse. Collaborative or individual poetry with alternating 5-7-5 and 7-7 stanzas. Form. Renga. Most popular Japanese poetry. Widely recognized 5-7-5-syllable form focused on imagery and nature. Form. Haiku. Famous haiku poet. Renowned figure who elevated haiku to a high literary art. Poet. Basho. 31-syllable, mad poems. Playful poetic form that was once popular but is now little used. Form. Kyoka. Satirical Japanese poetry. 17-syllable form focusing on human behavior and everyday life. Topic focus. Secret lives. Frivolous schoolbooks in Japan. Illustrated, light-hearted books used in schools, named for their cover color. Description. Red covers. Serious schoolbooks in Japan. Intellectual texts used in schools, including various types of learning materials. Description. All of A, B and C. Foundation of Jewish literature. Central text encompassing religious, historical, and poetic works for Jewish tradition. Work. Hebrew Bible. Exodus. The 10 Commandments were given to Moses during the Israelites' exodus from Egypt, as recorded in the Book of Exodus. Rabbi. Rabbis are Jewish religious leaders who interpret and apply Jewish law to contemporary life. Prophets deliver divine messages. A circa inam is not a Jewish leadership term, and D. Mishnah is a text of Jewish law. Time of Jesus. Jewish literature flourished significantly during the Second Temple period, including the time of Jesus, producing works like the Dead Sea Scrolls. The other options do not align with its greatest flowering. Narrative. Traditional Hebrew literature is primarily narrative, focusing on stories of the Israelites, example in Genesis, Exodus. Piyut. Piyut refers to Jewish liturgical poetry. Midrash is interpretive text, Kaddish is a prayer, and kibbutz is a communal settlement. Zionism. Zionism is the movement advocating for Jewish return to and sovereignty in the Promised Land, gaining momentum after World War II. Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the ancient national language of the Hindu people. Hindi is modern, while Punjab and Bombay are regions, cities. Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita is a key section within the epic Mahabharata. Sanskrit. Shruti texts, divine revelations like the Vedas, are entirely in Sanskrit. Smriti texts, human-composed, may be in other languages. 4 books. The major sutra works are typically divided into 4 books, example, the Vedangas or Dharma Sutras. Wisdom. The term, Veda, derives from the Sanskrit root meaning, knowledge, wisdom, encompassing sacred teachings for rituals and life. Brahmanas. Brahmanas are texts that detail sacrificial rites for Hindu gods. Upanishads focus on philosophy, Aranyakas on forest teachings, and Vedas are the core scriptures. Upanishads. Upanishads explore the meanings of Hindu concepts like Atman, self, and Brahman, ultimate reality. Aphorisms. Sutras are short, memorable aphorisms summarizing key teachings. Atman is the self, Advaita is non-dualism, and Shiva is a deity. Shastras include treatises on law, ethics, and other topics, as well as texts that can be framed as theses or contracts, example Dharma Shastras, Artha Shastras. Rig Veda. The Rig Veda is the oldest and primary part of the Vedas, containing hymns. The other options are either misspellings or less central. Arabian Nights. 1001 Nights. Arabian Nights includes the story of Alif Layla wa Layla. Ali Baba, Aladdin, and Sinbad are all iconic characters in 1001 Nights. Thief. In the story, Sinbad is a sailor, not a thief, magician, or sultan. Sinbad is a sailor's. Open Sesame. Open Sesame is the magic word to access the treasure cave in the story of Ali Baba. Quran. The Quran is the foundational sacred text of Islam, representing the highest literary achievement in Arabic history. Omar Khayyam. Omar Khayyam is famous for his Rubaiyat quatrains. The other options are not associated with quatrains. Sufi. Sufis are Islamic mystics. Mutki, Al-Mari, and Saj are not terms for mystics. Ghazal. A ghazal is a 4-line stanza couplet-based poem with a refrain. Saj is rhymed prose, and Provençal refers to a literary tradition. Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta was a renowned Arab traveler and writer, often called the Marco Polo of the Arabs. Many authors. The 1001 Nights is a collection of stories compiled over centuries by multiple authors, not a single individual. Ibn Ishaq. Ibn Ishaq wrote the famous early biography of Muhammad, Sirat Rasul Allah. Ferdowsi. Ferdowsi is a celebrated Persian author known as the Prophet of Persian literature. Khayyam was a poet-philosopher, Nehru a statesman, and Gibran a Lebanese writer. Trimurti. Brahma, creator, Vishnu, preserver, and Shiva, destroyer, are collectively called the Trimurti in Hinduism.